This little Peugeot 207 has got a slight problem. It's failed the MOT because the windscreen washers don't work when you pull the lever to activate the fluid. Now that could be one of three things. Firstly, we could have a blown fuse, and I'm going to show you whereabouts that is right here, and we're going to take a look at that under the bonnet in a sec. Also, it could be an electrical problem. Is there a loose connection, or is there a problem with the continuity in the circuit? A bit harder to diagnose without taking it apart, but the most likely candidate is going to be a failed washer pump, which is located in the driver's side wheel well behind the wheel liner. So let's see what happens when we activate the window washers. To activate the window washers on this car, you simply pull the lever towards you, and there's no noise other than the wipers going. So we know by activating this lever, we are telling the window wipers to activate, which means we must be telling it to send us fluid. There's nothing coming out and there's no sound of a pump whatsoever. If we're activating the lever and the car knows we're asking for fluid but there's no sound, it definitely points at that pump or the fuse. First up to check is that fuse and has it blown. So let me show you the location and what I did to check it. The fuse for this change is under the bonnet. So we need to open the door of the passenger side to give us access to this pull lever. That has released the bonnet, and the fuse box location is just here behind the headlight on the passenger side. So if we release the clips, and here is the fuse box, and the fuse in question I believe is this one right here, which is labelled as F3. You can probably make it out just down there, F3. So we can take that off and test it. My little gadget in place to pull the fuse out. We can take that out and inspect it, and it looks fine. There's no breakage in that, but I'm going to change it for a different fuse anyway. New fuse going in, so let's give that a test. Now we know it's not the fuse, so it's likely to be the pump itself or the electrical circuit to that. But again, to check those, we need to take the wheel liner out and access the pump anyway. So let's get the front wheel off, get the car jacked up, get the wheel liner out and get access to that pump. Before you start jacking the car up, it's important to loosen the road wheel bolts or the wheels on the floor. Now I've got the jack in place. We're going to raise the car up. I'm only using a very basic jack here because I'm hoping it's going to be quite a quick job. With the front driver's wheel off, we know that the pump is behind this wheel liner. So we need to get all these connections out next to get that off. With all the fittings detached, we can literally peel this liner away, and sitting right behind, nice and easy to access, is this pump, and it's in the bottom of the fluid bottle. Now it's got two wires going to it, which we can see here, which are the rear and the front washer fluid lines. Now I know if I remove this from the bottle, fluid is going to come out all over the floor. So what we need to do is disconnect this electrical connection here from the mains, which would allow us to test that if it wasn't the pump itself that was causing a problem. So let's get that disconnected, and then we can look at removing this pump from the bottle. Now don't forget, when we remove the pump from the bottle, all this fluid that's inside is going to come straight out, and I know it's full, this bottle, so it's going to make a bit of a mess. But I've also got a new rubber grommet to go in the bottle that came with the pump, so let's see if we can just wiggle that free. The electrical connection that's attached to the car has this little clip you push down, and that allows you to release that from the pump itself. So here is the pump that we've got on the car. As you can see, there's a bit of I did lose a little bit of the fluid on the floor, but I've caught most of it in the bucket. So all you need to do now is release these two pipes. There's a white one and a black one here from the pump. Put the new pump on, install it into the rubber grommet, which seems to have stayed behind in the housing, so we'll remove that rubber grommet, get the new pump on. Here's the old pump next to the new pump. If anything, just seems to be a little bit longer, the pumping mechanism itself, but it's the same part, maybe it's a bit more robust. So let's get this on the car. Because these pipes are 18 years old, what I'm going to do is just trim the end off them with a pipe slice to ensure we've got a nice clean end. Due to the amount of time the old pipes had been in position, these ends had become a little bit stretched, and that will ensure we get a nice tight fit on the new pump. Just push that new pump back into the old hole with a new grommet. We're going to make sure that we've got these pipes also pushed back into their original holes. Let's fill that back up with fluid now to make sure there's no leakage from the bottom of the pipe. And with the fluid back in the bottle, we can see there's no leaks or drips from the bottom of the pump. So let's give that a test. So here we go, moment of truth. Let's turn the engine on. Let's give this a pull. And look at that, straight away we have got washer fluid on the windscreen. So that's a job well done. And not only that, look at the back window. So success all round. So after all that, it was indeed the pump, and it's great to have the car working once more. I hope you've enjoyed this short tutorial on how to fix your washer pump on a Peugeot 207. If you like what you've seen today, then please do give the video a thumbs up, particularly if it's helped you, and also check out my channel where you'll find a whole host of content on how to fixes for cars, mainly the Audi TT, but also the Ford Fiesta, and of course my son's Peugeot 207. As always, thanks for watching, see you soon. Take care.